What if I told you there's a place in Pakistan that doesn't appear on most maps? A place so hidden, so untouched, that even seasoned travelers have never heard its name. A valley where the roads simply end, where civilization draws its last breath, and where nature, raw, wild, and completely unbothered by human existence, takes over entirely. Just you, the mountains, and a silence so deep it almost feels alive. Most people have heard of Hunza. Most people know Skardu, but there is a valley just a few hours from Skardu that has remained completely off the radar. Hidden behind rough mountain trails, guarded by steep rocky walls, and accessible only to those who are genuinely willing to earn their destination. This is Bilamik Valley, and today, we're going in. Have you ever heard of places that don't exist in guidebooks? Places that never made it onto travel maps? Places where the only way to find out what's there is to actually go. Bilamik Valley is exactly that kind of place, tucked away approximately 85 kilometers from Skardu, in the direction of Dambudas. This remote Himalayan Karakoram Valley has managed to stay completely hidden from mainstream tourism. No glossy travel brochures, no packaged tour deals, no paved roads leading to its entrance, just a narrow, rough, unforgiving mountain track that weeds out the casual visitor from the truly curious explorer. The name itself tells you everything you need to know. In the local Balti language, Bila, or Beli, means a remote or isolated place, and MIT or Meek means pasture or temporary settlement. So Bilamik literally translates to a pasture in a faraway elevated place, a name passed down not through written history, but through the spoken memories of Balti shepherds who have been climbing into this valley for 300 to 500 years. Sitting at an altitude of roughly 10,500 to 11,500 feet above sea level, that's 3,200 to 3,500 meters, Bilamik exists in that thin, breathtaking zone where oxygen gets scarce. Every breath becomes a conscious effort, and you feel like you're standing on the very roof of the world. Geographically, it sits within the southern spread of the Karakoram Range, towering rocky peaks surrounded on all sides, most of them nameless, most of them unexplored. The valley walls are steep and dramatic, giving you the feeling that someone deliberately hid this place from the rest of the world. And honestly, maybe nature did exactly that, because Bilamik is not built for comfort seekers. It's not designed for casual travelers. This valley exists for those rare few who look at an unmarked spot on a map and think, that's exactly where I need to go. Wide open meadows, glacial streams cutting through ancient rock, yaks roaming freely across emerald green grasslands, a night sky so clear that the Milky Way pours across it like spilled milk on black velvet, and a silence so complete, so absolute, that you can actually hear your own heartbeat. To truly understand Bilamik Valley, you first need to understand where it sits, because its geography is not just a backdrop. It is the entire story. Bilamik lies within the southern extension of the mighty Karakoram Range, one of the most dramatic and unforgiving mountain systems on the planet. The valley is enclosed on all sides by steep rocky peaks, most of which remain nameless and unclimbed to this day. These towering walls give Bilamik its defining character. Narrow, dramatic, and deeply private, as if the mountains themselves chose to keep this place hidden from the outside world. The upper reaches of the valley are largely barren and stony, nothing but rock, wind, and patches of snow that refuse to melt even in the height of summer. But as you descend, something remarkable happens. The landscape transforms. Seasonal meadows begin to appear, wide, green, and extraordinarily alive. These are the pastures that have drawn Balti shepherds here for centuries, and in the summer months, they turn into a carpet of deep emerald dotted with wildflowers in white, yellow, and purple. Water flows through Bilamik in the form of seasonal glacial streams, born from snowmelt high above, rushing down through the rocky terrain, before eventually joining the broader water system of the Dambudas region. These streams are small but vital, bringing life to the meadows and providing fresh water to both the livestock and the few humans who make this valley their temporary home each summer. Bilamik's history is not written in books. It is carried in the memories of old men, whispered around evening fires, and embedded in the very name of the valley itself. The earliest inhabitants were Balti shepherds, nomadic by nature, practical by necessity. They did not come to Bilamik to settle permanently. They came every summer, built simple stone shelters, grazed their yaks and sheep across the high pastures, and returned to lower ground before the first snows of autumn arrived. This seasonal migration has continued for an estimated 300 to 500 years, largely unchanged and largely unnoticed by the rest of the world. Getting to Bilamik Valley is not a trip. It is a test. And that test begins the moment you leave Skardu. The first stretch of the journey, roughly 85 kilometers to Dambudas, is surprisingly manageable. The road follows the mighty Indus River, winding through dramatic rocky cliffs and opening into sweeping valley views one after another. This section is mostly paved, and for a while, you might even start thinking that this journey is going to be straightforward. The Karakoram scenery rolls past your window like a slow, breathtaking film. Ancient Balti villages built from stone and mud, seasonal shepherd camps perched on hillsides, and the Indus itself flowing wide and powerful beside you, completely indifferent to your presence. But then you reach Dambudas, and everything changes. From Dambudas onward, the road as you know it simply ceases to exist. What replaces it is a rough, narrow, barely there mountain track that climbs aggressively toward the valley. The surface is loose gravel, broken rock, and packed earth, and in places, the trail is barely wide enough for a single vehicle. On one side, the mountain rises sharply above you. On the other side, a deep drop waits with zero forgiveness. One wrong move, one moment of distraction, and the consequences are severe. This final stretch to Bilamik takes approximately 30 to 45 minutes, but these are 45 minutes you will remember for the rest of your life. If the season brings rain or snowmelt, expect mud, small stream crossings, and sections of track that seem to dissolve entirely into the hillside. Driving here at night is simply not an option. A four-wheel drive vehicle is not a luxury on this route. It is an absolute requirement, and a local driver or guide is not optional either. The trails are unmarked, the weather can shift without warning, and in any emergency, local knowledge is the only reliable resource you have. Once you arrive in Bilamik, the real survival reality sets in, and it sets in fast. There are no medical facilities anywhere in the valley. In a serious emergency, reaching Dambudas or Skardu can take 3 to 5 hours depending on road conditions, and those hours matter enormously. This is why preparation before entering the valley is not a suggestion. It is survival logic. Food supplies must be carried in from Skardu. Rice, flour, lentils, tea and cooking oil are the essentials. Locally, you can find milk, butter, yogurt, and occasionally fresh meat from the shepherds. But beyond that, the valley offers nothing packaged, nothing processed, and nothing convenient. Fuel for cooking is another serious consideration, as wood is scarce at this altitude and must be brought in carefully. But here is what makes Bilamik truly remarkable. The shepherds who call this valley home every summer have mastered this survival equation completely. They arrive in June with everything they need, set up their stone shelters, release their livestock onto the pastures, and live in complete self-sufficiency for months. No complaints, no complications, just life, stripped down to its most honest and essential form. In Bilamik, survival is not dramatic. It is simply daily life, lived with quiet confidence by people who have never needed the modern world to tell them how to exist. In Bilamik Valley, clothing is not a fashion statement. It is a survival strategy, and one that has been refined over hundreds of years of living at extreme altitude. The foundation of traditional Balti winter dress is the gucha, a long, thick woolen robe that wraps around the entire body and ties at the waist with a woven cloth belt. This single garment alone provides remarkable insulation against the biting mountain winds. But the gucha is just the beginning. Underneath it, layers of wool are added one by one, because at this altitude, warmth is not a comfort. It is a necessity that can mean the difference between life and death. What makes this traditional clothing truly remarkable is that it has barely changed in centuries. The same materials, the same designs, the same layering logic. Modern synthetic jackets have slowly found their way into the region, but the old-timers still swear by wool and sheepskin. And honestly, at minus temperatures with howling Karakoram winds, they are probably right. The food culture of Bilamik is simple, honest, and deeply nourishing, built entirely around what the land and the livestock can provide. The cornerstone of daily life is tsampa, roasted barley flour mixed with butter tea or water into a thick, dense paste. It is high in calories, easy to prepare, and keeps the body warm from the inside out. For generations, this single food has fueled shepherds through long, cold, physically demanding days on the mountain pastures. Fresh dairy from yaks and goats is another daily essential. Milk, butter, and yogurt form a significant part of the diet. Dried meat, preserved during autumn slaughter, sustains families through the coldest months when fresh supplies cannot reach the valley. Flatbreads baked on stone over open fires complete the daily meal, simple, filling, and made entirely by hand. There are no restaurants in Bilamik, no menus, no choices. You eat what the season offers, and you are grateful for every bite. The people of Bilamik Valley are predominantly Shia Muslims, a faith that has been woven into the fabric of Balti life for centuries and remains the spiritual heartbeat of the entire region. Islam arrived in Baltistan gradually, through traveling scholars and merchants crossing the ancient mountain trade routes, and it took deep root among the Balti people in a way that blended naturally with their existing relationship with the land. In Bilamik, faith is not something practiced occasionally. It is lived daily, quietly, and with genuine sincerity. Even in this remote and isolated valley, the call to prayer marks the rhythm of the day. Shepherds pause their work to pray on open hillsides, using nothing but a flat stone or a patch of clean earth as their prayer space. The mountains themselves seem to become a mosque, vast, silent, and humbling. The nearest proper mosque is in the lower settlements, but the spirit of devotion travels with the shepherds wherever they go. Religious gatherings, communal prayers, and the sharing of food during Islamic occasions strengthen the community bonds that allow these people to survive in such extreme isolation. In Bilamik, faith and nature exist in complete harmony, both reminding the people who live here of exactly how small and yet how remarkable a human being truly is. And so here we are, at the end of our journey through one of Pakistan's most hidden, most honest, and most extraordinary places on Earth. We started with a road that disappeared. We followed it anyway. And what we found on the other side of that rough, unforgiving mountain track was something that no travel brochure could ever prepare you for. A valley that doesn't perform for visitors, doesn't dress itself up for cameras, and doesn't apologize for being exactly what it is: raw, quiet, alive. We walked through meadows that turn emerald green every summer, fed by glacial streams that have been flowing since long before any of us existed. We sat with shepherds who carry centuries of survival wisdom in their hands and genuine warmth in their hearts. We tasted gurgur chai made over an open fire, wrapped ourselves in the logic of woolen layers, and looked up at a night sky so impossibly clear that the Milky Way felt close enough to touch. Because Bilamik has a way of doing that to you. It strips everything back to what is real, what is essential, and what is genuinely worth carrying through life. Bilamik Valley is not for everyone, and that is precisely what makes it so special. It is not for those who need comfort guaranteed before they take a step. It is not for those who measure a destination by how many people have already been there. And it is certainly not for those who need a Wi-Fi signal to feel connected. But if you are the kind of person who believes that the most meaningful journeys are the ones that cost you something, effort, courage, and a willingness to be genuinely uncomfortable, then Bilamik is calling your name. If this journey to Bilamik Valley moved something inside you, if it made you want to pack a bag, call a friend, and start planning a trip to somewhere you have never been, then this channel was made for you. Hit that subscribe button right now and join a growing community of people who believe that real travel means going beyond the obvious, beyond the comfortable, and beyond the already discovered. Share this video with someone who has lost their sense of adventure. Someone who scrolls through travel content but never actually goes. Someone who needs to be reminded that the most extraordinary experiences in life are rarely the easiest ones to reach.